seasonal weather has returned to our part of Texas. It's almost cool out today, almost cold. All right, 715. Drum brakes. That's what they got. They came with drum brakes. Dana 70 rear and closed knuckle Dana 60 front. Drum brakes. Big, huge drum brakes. And I've had the truck 24 years now. This is going to be my fourth time going through and redoing the wheel cylinders. Second time with silicone brake fluid. I had the driver's side rear leaking and the passenger front leaking. At least the tires were all shiny on the inside. I used, back up, the stock 715 wheel cylinder. They tended to rust out on the inside and just freeze. The pistons would just seize inside the little wheel cylinder bores. So somebody way before me figured out that Ford E250 van wheel cylinders are almost the exact same part. And let me show you. Got some troubles on here too. Let's see. This is the Dorman part number. W7263 is the driver's side wheel cylinders off of a Ford E250 van. And this angle right here is the important part. This angle of the line coming in. Driver's side, let me get the box. It's the same thing ended in 2, but let me get the box. W37262 is the passenger side wheel cylinders. I've already done the passenger side ones. I got down to my last wheel putting the rear together. It's like, oh, I gotta make a video, because things about the 715 brakes come up online on 715 Zone and Steel Soldiers all the time. Let me talk about the shoes first. These are the ones I've not cleaned up yet, but you can see this one over here, the rear one, the pad goes almost all the way to the top. The front one, the pad is an inch or so from the top. That's the way it's supposed to be. The rear one, pad goes to the top. The front one, pad does not. It's offset a little ways. Then there's the triangle. Not triangle. The block on top. You see the arrow? That arrow points to the front. This side is supposed to be curved. It's got a little curve to it. This side is straight. This has to go to the front. Got the arrow. There's actually an S right here. You can see it. That goes on the top where the springs hold the shoes to. Make sure the arrow is to the front of the vehicle. Now these trucks, the rears are the hardest ones to do, because, at least for me, because you can see the wheel cylinder mount bolts, and you can see the line, but the line is actually a pipe. It comes in no further than that. You can get 1, maybe 2 fingers on it. But getting this thing started again is a royal pain. And then getting the mount bolts in is still a pain, but it's less of a pain than the line, because the line you can cross thread real easy. So I'm doing this video before I fight with that and get all upset. Let's see what else. The fronts are kind of easy because you can pull the hose through the mount hole. Oh yeah, to make the E250 ones fit, these holes here, the mounting holes, you got to clearance them just a little bit. A Dremel, modify the backing plate, just enlarge the holes just a little bit. These backing plates I actually bought with a set of axles Thanksgiving of 2004. Because doesn't everybody spend Thanksgiving by driving the family with a truck and trailer 700 miles to pick up a set of used truck axles? Yeah, that's what I did Thanksgiving that year. Skipped all the family stuff and did that. Got truck axles. And they'd already been converted. So I just swapped backing plates onto mine, and I took the Detroit locker out of those axles and put it on here. Oh, yes, the drum. The other side. When I was teaching, I had access to a drum lathe, a brake lathe, and I went through, whoops, and where'd my mark go? There it is. I tried turning the drums. I could turn them, but then they weren't round when I put them on the truck. These 3 screws that hold the drum to the hub, how the drum is oriented on those screws affects how the darn thing is, which way is round. These things were made by the lowest bidder. I got 3 sets of drums, and these are the ones I have on here are the most round for my hubs. Anyway, I use a paint stick to mark, so I put it back on the same spot. These screws, yes, in theory, you think practically, well, the wheel's going to hold the wheel will hold the drums on. That's the common thought. However, there have been several guys on 715 zone over the years that didn't put those screws in, were driving down the highway and their front wheels came off, or rear wheel came off. So I always put those screws on. And a liberal coating of anti-seize is needed. Don't torque them down. Just put them on until they're tight with anti-seize in there. It's been, I think, 11 or 12 years since I had these apart last time, and they came right off today. I think 1 screw out of the 12, I had to put a wrench on the screwdriver to help it twist. On that, they came right out, and my wheels and tire assemblies never came off. Now I'm running the Michelin XLZ 1100, so these are heavy, heavy tires. Let's see what else. Oh, 715 brakes are not self-adjusting. You have to adjust them yourself. So you can hear, I got some a little bit clear touching. Once I get it bled, I'll push the pedal and it'll recenter it. And I'll see, but I'm going to adjust all 4 if I put the tires back on till I get just a little bit less noise than that. And I'll go on the dirt road, get going about 20 miles an hour and slam on the brakes and see which tires skid. The ones that aren't skidding, I'll do another click or 2 with the star adjuster, the brake spoon. That's the way you adjust them. And when your brakes don't feel right, you gotta just give each one a click and go drive it and see if you got one locking up and 3 just doing nothing, or you got 3 locking up and 1 doing nothing. 715 brakes. And I think that's about it. Wheel cylinder replacements. And yes, if your stock ones are good enough shape inside, you could hone it if you wanted to. You can put new cups in there and move on. But my stock ones were not good enough to rebuild. And at, that guy's $11 or $12 a piece off of Amazon for those Dorman wheel cylinders off the E250 vans. That was a no-brainer. Hub alignment to the drum alignment to the hub screws. What else are they going to talk about? I think that's about it. Everything else gets into modified, because I got the Corvette master cylinder on mine, which is probably another story. And yeah, I think that's about it. 715 brakes. Anything else we need to talk about? The rears are hard to do than the fronts. And I think that's it. Everything else is just common drum brake stuff. So another teachable moment for the 715s.